Welcome. It's Monday, and that's Restoring Hope Live time. Annie's here to talk about the adolescent program at Unity Health. You're going to want to hear it.
Open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope. Open my eyes to see the world through different eyes, revealing your light, restoring hope.
Good afternoon. 3.5 minutes after the hour on this gorgeous day. We thank you for being here. It's Restoring Hope Live, a ministry of webcast1live.com and Unity Point Health Systems. Powell CDC and the ladies from Powell are here today, as well as Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, watching the chat. If you are a person who's on web with us and watching at webcast1live.com, you can click over to the chat and join us like that. Oh, did you hear that? I just rhymed. And Ryan is producing, and we have Lila Stafford, who is are you a counselor?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have Annie Mauldin, who is, what does your badge say? Therapist.
Actually, we're the same thing.
You're the same thing?
Yes.
Oh.
Just different jobs.
So you're both therapists?
I guess.
Okay.
We don't really know.
We're not sure. We are unsure.
You help people. That you would agree
helpers.
on.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And today Annie is specifically here to talk to us about the adolescent recovery program that Unity Point Health has just started. And first of all, who's an adolescent? Give me an age range.
The population we serve is mostly high school kids. It can go above 18 if they are still in that area of life, if it's the summer or if they're a year behind or something like that. And we have had kids that are 13 as well. But
All right.
Normally about that range.
That's got to be a tough age.
13?
Yeah, well, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, are these kids that have probably got caught with something and therefore they're in with you, or they want to be there themselves, or who are they?
Well, most of our clients have been caught by their parents or maybe nudged in our direction by a juvenile court officer or a tracker, or if they're already involved in the legal system. But most of it is from their parents. All
right. And so mom and dad call up and said, I'm tired of Junior smoking dope. I'm tired of Junior sneaking alcohol. And then they come to Powell with outpatient program and counseling, therapy. What you have small groups, right?
Yes, we have small groups and education, and we also have multifamily group on Wednesday nights. And that in itself, I think, is the reason that we're a little bit different, because we offer group for parents, for the kids, for everybody. It's called All Hands on Deck Group, to try and foster an environment of transparency between the kid, the parents, get parents to support each other, kids to get to know each other as well.
You got a tough gig.
There are a lot of grandparents in there, too.
There are.
It seemed unusual to me, but there are a lot of grandparents taking care of their grandchildren.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to take care of my grandchildren because my children are perfectly capable, but if any of my grandchildren needed help like that, I'd step up.
Yeah.
You know, I know my wife would too. But tough question, how many times do you want to just look at the parents and say, shut up. You are the problem here. The kid is not wrong. Yeah, maybe his actions were wrong and we can work with that, but you're the enabler. You're the codependent. Shut up.
Well, I think that I don't really think, in my head, I'm not thinking shut up. I'm thinking, let's step outside for a minute.
Okay.
So we can talk. That's usually it.
And what's that conversation like with that parent? It's got to vary probably.
It does.
In all degrees.
Yep. It's usually out of support. Like, this is the best way that we can support you so you can best support your child.
I find it very similar to when I used to teach school, because I help out with the parents sometimes. And there are a lot of parents who will, like when I used to teach school, that would come to school and they'd say that if the kid was getting in trouble, they'd say, well, it's okay because they're just like I am. And look at me, I turned out okay. And I hear a lot of the parents saying the same thing, that this may just be a kind of minimizing it. But I think it's just, when I hear parents like that, I just think of education. We just need to educate them, because there is such a wide difference in what grandparents or parents know in what the children are doing. I mean, the parents or the grandparents know a fraction of what's really going on with the kids, or what kind of drugs are out there.
Annie Mauldin is our guest today. She is the head of the Unity Point Powell CDC Adolescent Recovery Program down at Powell, which is on the 4th floor of Lutheran. Now, you may have heard this for the very first time, that there's hope for your 13-year-old. It's not in a white jacket. It's not overnight. But there's help. And you and I, Lila, have learned, or I guess you've always known, but I've learned over the last few years of doing this program, it's about 14.
Yeah.
That's about the age that somehow they begin to stray.
Yeah.
My concern would be that you've got a child who is in trouble at age 13 or 14, because that's exactly what the parents do. You know, dad says, well, I can smoke dope. I'm over 18. I've got a job. I can support myself. You don't, so you can't do it. And the child just screams hypocrisy. Do you have a lot of that?
I don't think it's usually that like dramatic. I think it's they have a parent who they have a parent who smokes pot, but maybe they don't live with them.
Okay.
And so that parent probably wouldn't be coming to our program.
Okay. Can blended families come, though?
Absolutely.
Can you have 2 moms, 2 dads?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've had the one kid, and then we've had, he's got 6 family members with him. Maybe it's an aunt and uncle and, mom and mom's boyfriend, or anybody that is a main part of their life, we welcome to come. Absolutely.
Now, at some point, the word adolescent means I'm not an adult yet. And most adolescents want to be adults. Is that fair to say? How do you get them to understand that it's not their time yet? That it's not your time to worry about all this stuff that you're worrying about as a kid, or that you will as an adult. Just
I feel like the thing they want to be an adult about is that they want to stay out however late they want, and they want a car, and they want some freedom. And if you want to be an adult, then make adult decisions. Go get a job and get a car. Go support yourself. If you can make enough money to put a roof over your head, food in your stomach, get a car, if you can do all of that, then we can talk about being an adult.
But until you can, it's kind of the old rule, as long as you live under my roof.
Yeah. If that comes up, I feel like they aren't often worrying about being an adult. They don't talk about, that's not something I see with them often.
Do you unfortunately uncover some emotional or physical abuse sometimes?
Sometimes.
Are you required to turn that in or point that out, or are you just able to, as a licensed therapist, understand what's going on and just put that into your file and move forward?
I certainly would never sweep it under the rug.
Right.
We are mandatory reporters.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that answers your question. But
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Annie Mauldin is my guest today. She's with the Adolescent Recovery Program through Unity Point Health. It's a new program. How long has it been in place?
We've been open about a year.
Okay. And obviously no names mentioned. Tell me one story that comes to the top of your head, which has been a real success story in helping a young person get through a tough time.
Well, we've got these kids, or they aren't kids, I guess they're adults now, but that have gone through Powell's program. the adult program, that come back and they've been sober a few years, however long, and they come back every week and participate in our aftercare programming.
Oh, good.
And that has been really neat to watch because these kids, the kids in our program, see these young people who are in AA and they're excited and, you know, they have tattoos. So maybe they're cool, you know, or they listen to the same type of music. So maybe they can trust them, you know, and okay, maybe I will fit in here. It's not just what I see on TV when it comes to, you know, being in 12-step program or being in recovery in general.
Is it more alcohol than drugs?
It all depends. I mean, it's different for every
There's
kid.
a lot of pot that's just, I see, with kids. I mean, kids just think that everyone's doing pot and nothing's wrong with it. They feed that information to each other.
And how do you approach that to make sure they know that's not true?
I give an example of my stepson.
Okay. Okay, and what is that example?
That he thought the same thing, but his anxiety is because he's never faced the problems he needs to face in life, and he's been smoking for years in place of actually talking with people, getting therapy, the things he needs, then his anxiety, he's never dealt with it. So the fear of not smoking is so great because he doesn't have the tools to know what to do with his anxiety.
But isn't that the same as alcohol?
Yeah, doesn't matter what drug you put in there. But a lot of people do the same thing with their anxiety with alcohol, and they get so fearful but they haven't built up enough tools to know what to do if life doesn't happen the way they want, and they just go for whatever drug or alcohol or whatever. But the idea of not having that is so fearful for them.
Mm-hmm. It's like not having their alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Lila Stafford is my guest. She's a therapist at Unity Point Health.
No, she's your guest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lila's my co-host, along with Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat. My guest is Annie Mauldin, who is the head of the new adolescent recovery program at Powell Chemical Dependency Center at Lutheran Hospital here in central Iowa, and that's all a part of Unity Point Health. Tell me, Annie, if you will, some of the happiest moments you've seen out of kids here in the last year. Again, no names.
Right. I probably won't give any names. We've got, we had a night, the last recovery celebration that we had a bunch of kids graduate or transition from continuing care into aftercare. And it was just a wonderful thing when we saw some people who were there to support them come to the recovery celebration, and they didn't necessarily expect them to. And that was really cool. That was really, really cool.
That tells the kid that he's loved.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that it's important that he be a part of something that's going to help him recover.
Yeah, when you're in a room full of other parents who are there supporting their siblings, and everybody's celebrating. People are, and they get a coin. It's huge, not just to adolescents, but to the grown-ups as well.
Do they a chip?
Yeah.
Same thing that we have in the 12-step program.
Yes, but there's part of it isn't there. It's a flat edge instead of a round disc.
Oh, okay.
There's a flat edge.
And that's for NA.
No, that's just for
adolescents
going through Powell.
Oh, okay. All right. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, why is Annie so passionate about this? She could do many things with her life, and she chooses to help other adolescents. Well, why? She's passionate about it, and we'll tell you why when we come back. It is a gorgeous day. We thank you for being here live on RestoringHopeLive.com at Webcast One Live here on The Truth, 99.3 FM.
father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places. Especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart. And it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah!
If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
All right, good afternoon. It is a gorgeous day. We appreciate you being here. This is Restoring Hope Live, a ministry from Unity Point Health and Powell CDC. We're talking specifically with Annie Mauldin, who is head of the adolescent recovery program there, a program that's about a year old. And the kids have to start at 13, or if a 12-year-old needs help, or is it pretty much 13?
If you've got a kid that wants help, call us.
Okay. All right, so we'll worry about the age later.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of mature 9, 10, 11-year-olds. I mean, these kids have been through heck and back, you know. And goes through high school, so if it's the summer after your high school, you can go. And then they don't just drop you. They have aftercare programs. I mean, Powell has programs for people older than me, which isn't possible, but they do. And so someone of any age at any time who needs help can certainly go to Unity Point, Powell CDC, and ask for help. Lila Stafford is here as my co-host, and Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, watching the chat. Ryan is producing today. And so why are you, Annie, so passionate about helping young people? I mean, with your experience and your training, you could be doing anything you want within a CDC program. Why do you choose adolescents?
Because I get it. I got sober when I was 16.
Wow.
And I thought my life was over. It was, now what am I going to do? Who am I going to hang out with?
Yeah.
How am I ever going to have fun again? I
Yeah.
thought I was going to die of boredom. That was a real thing.
That you did, or you thought you were going
I thought, well, I'm alive, so I just thought I was going to. I didn't know how to enjoy recovery or have fun or do anything like that.
And so how did you learn what to do? CDC didn't have, Powell didn't have adolescent programs at that age.
Correct. I went to a treatment center that's no longer around, 9 years ago. And when I came back to Des Moines, and I went to a lot of 12-step meetings, and I just kind of hung around people and found they say get in where you fit in. And I was by far the youngest, but now there are so many young people. It is outrageous.
Yeah.
It's amazing. There are people getting sober real young and doing amazing things.
Annie, do you think there are more people getting sober because there are more people getting drunk? Or are there more people getting sober because the programs are available? That we still have the same number of 14, 15, 16-year-olds that are abusing drugs and alcohol?
I think we probably still have the same amount of people using and not using. I think what's changed is that there's just a pocket of enthusiasm in our area for recovery and things like that.
When you say in our area, do you mean geographically here in central Iowa?
Yes.
So this is a good place to get sober, I've heard.
Absolutely.
Lots of programs, lots of people that help.
Absolutely.
So did you find other 15, 16, 17-year-olds when you got sober?
Yeah. It was me and another girl. I got sober with a whole bunch of kids that I went to treatment with, and a lot of us lived in Des Moines. And so we came and we would go to 12-step meetings. Like, we'd pack 8 kids into my Buick that barely ran. Then we would go to a Perkins till 3 a.m. and get kicked out. Or, we were just trying to have fun and
She still
remember
does
it
that
the next day.
She's
still-
like the head of all the fun for the 20-some-year-olds. It's really cute.
I just follow everybody.
What did you say?
She loves to have fun. She knows how to have fun in sobriety. And she's like the head queen for having fun. And kids practically live at her house. And they're up till 3 o'clock doing fun things. They think of fun things to do without drinking. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And it's like this is how you stay sober.
Peer pressure, worse or better than it was when you were 15, 16?
I was a peer pressure. I'm not sure.
You were a peer pressure.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It didn't take any kind of pressure to get me to do something dumb.
Okay.
I wanted to do it. So
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
And you think kids are that same way today?
I guess I don't know what it was really like, 10 years ago, because nobody had to pressure me into doing anything really.
Okay.
Unless it was my chores.
Annie Mauldin is our guest today. She's the head of the Adolescent Recovery Program with Powell CDC. Lila Stafford, my co-host, along with Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat. Okay. Can you role play with me? Are you good at that? No, you're not?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends.
I'm going to play the parent of a child who desperately needs your help, but you're the only one that knows it. So I, as a parent, am really offended by the fact that the courts or whoever has told my son that he needs to come to a chemical dependence program. And I want you to just kind of answer those questions as you would to the parent.
Absolutely.
So I come up, and my son's name is Johnny, and Johnny got caught with a little weed in somebody else's car. In fact, I'm not even sure it was my son's weed. He says it wasn't, but he was in another car, and rather than getting a ticket and going to jail, the officer said he had to go through a test. What do you call that when people first come in and they go through an analysis?
An assessment?
Assessment, thank you.
Okay.
Went through an assessment, and they said that he's got to be here. Explain to me why, Annie.
So he came and got an assessment with us.
Yes.
Chances are he didn't just get caught with some pot in somebody else's car. If he was told he needed to get an assessment or an evaluation, he was already involved with the courts. So
Okay.
this is kind of a pattern, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, but he's just a kid. I mean,
Right.
I used to smoke dope, when I was a kid in school. It wasn't any big deal back in the 70s when we did it. Why is it a big deal nowadays? I turned out all right. Excuse me, that's my cough.
It's not that it's necessarily a big deal. It's that we just want to be here to support y'all. I mean, there's probably a reason why you ended up in a room here with me and with my Terrence is the other person that works in our program. And we're just here for extra support, some education, maybe talk about what's going on or what's been going on, find different ways to cope.
Well, I don't think what happens inside my household is anybody else's business but mine. I mean, I can raise my kids just fine.
Right. And that's fine. We aren't asking you to come and bring everything that happens in your household out here. We don't want you to feel like you have to air your dirty laundry or anything like that. But what our main focus and our aim is on Tuesday and Thursdays, we sit with the kid. We hang out. We have dinner together. We do a small group. We talk about different ways to cope with whatever life in general, because being a teenager is hard. Life is hard, and different ways to cope. And if they already know, then won't be much skin off their nose being here.
I'm not role playing again for just a second, Annie. I have this strange underlining feeling that if we lined up 10, 14-year-olds, 9 of them would be in critical care for some type of life's just too hard on me, it's hard for me to cope, and one of them is just around the corner from it. In other words, all adolescents face that wall of living life on life's terms, and anger, sex, drugs, alcohol, cutting, I know is a big deal nowadays. Prescription pills, taking those from mom and dad. It can't be a treat all the time sitting in your chair and realizing that these kids are in trouble. They may not know it yet, but they're in trouble. They're one step away from a life of really bad stuff. And there's no question there, is there? I just kind of said that. But
what's bad is that these kids give each other false information. If they want to smoke dope, they'll look up on the internet or somewhere all the reasons why they should be smoking, and nothing's wrong with this. So they start out that way, give each other wrong information, and they think it's the truth. So to come to us, they can hear real facts about what is really in. In fact, like pot nowadays is 10 times, it's 27 times stronger than it was in the 70s. But, they don't know that, and some parents may be thinking, well, I used to do it and it wasn't a big thing. Well,
Yeah.
It may not have been back then, but it's a lot stronger now.
Back
and
then
they
it was-
don't know what they're getting.
back then it was just ditchweed.
Right.
And Bob, you're kind of an expert in this area.
Yeah, I posted on my Facebook page an article, a research study out of the King's College in London, saying that the new marijuana, the THC content is, as you said, quite a bit higher than the old stuff that people were raised on, and that 1 in 4 people will develop psychosis.
Yeah.
Psychosis, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's a psychological illness where they hear voices, they're suicidal, and that's something that I know someone that experienced that due to a high dose of THC.
They got psychotic and then they wanted to commit suicide.
Right, that's 1 in 4.
And you don't associate that with marijuana.
No.
No, because because you're calm when you're doing this. And see, that was what was misleading about my stepson as well, is that he thought he was just smoking pot, but this anxiety thing, and he's had to go to the emergency room many times, doubled up where he can't, walk, talk, anything from something happening, and he can't eat. And from the research I've done on that, it's all directly related to marijuana, but it's not like everybody has that reaction, but some do. But no one ever talks about that.
No, because it's Let me ask you a question. I don't know this. I don't watch youth-oriented movies, but do people still smoke marijuana in movies? I mean, when I grew up, what was that one movie? High Times at Ridgemont High, and of course Cheech and Chong. And is Hollywood still making this glorified? Are they adding to the problem of kids thinking it's okay?
I don't necessarily see it in movies, but I hear movie stars talking about it in sort of a not overtly, but if you really know what they're talking about, you know that they're talking about that.
The lingo. Mm-hmm. Lila Stafford is my co-host, along with Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat. Now, Bob, you for 35 years was a forensic scientist, and you have been testing marijuana strains over the entire 35 years. Am I correct in saying that used to be ditchweed, and now it's being genetically produced under careful supervision to make it, what'd you say, 27 times stronger than what was being smoked in the early 60s?
Yeah, they have better ways of growing it. You can do a good job of making it potent. It's a matter of, feeding your plants so that they are better, produce better. But marijuana was brought into the state years ago for the hemp.
Right.
And so once you brought it into the state, or anybody brings it into the state, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's like a weed.
Okay.
It's going to be like a dandelion. It's always going to be growing in the ditch.
Growing.
But the ditchweed is just whatever comes, and it's not as potent as what's being grown in Alaska now, in Colorado, Oregon. I mean, these
genetically.
These are the states that are doing it now. D.C.
It's the Adolescent Recovery Program at Powell CDC, brought to you by the good folks at Unity Point Health. Annie Mauldin is my guest, and of course, I've got Lila Stafford along with Bob Montserrat. I'm J. Michael McCoy. We're coming back live here on The Truth. 99.3 FM.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fix them problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
All right, 22 minutes for the top of the hour here on Restoring Hope Live, brought to you by Unity Point Health. And today we're talking with Annie Mauldin, who is the head of the Adolescent Recovery Program. Just a minute ago, Bob Montserrat, who is 66? 62, made the comment that he's never smoked marijuana. And Annie, you just were like, what? Are you kidding me? Now, here's a generational difference. In fact, my guess is, I don't know how old you are, and you don't need to tell me, but my guess is you're probably too young to be a granddaughter, but your kids are probably older than Annie. So there's at least one generation here.
Yeah. Yeah, my oldest is 35.
Okay. So why did you think that was just so bizarre that this man had never smoked marijuana?
That just seems odd to me. I think it went, I've never smoked weed, and I said, why? What? Why? That's probably how it went. And I guess when I was growing up, and why would I ever say no? It just seems silly to me.
Okay, so this is a learning moment. Why should somebody say no?
Now, why should someone never ever try it?
Yeah, why if my 14-year-old grandson may be listening today. He's 14 years old. And the question is, why should my grandson never try marijuana? Well, I mean, not going to kill him the first time he inhales it. He won't be looked at some like nerd, but when he says, no, I've never tried it. But at least he can say, I have tried it. I don't like it. You go ahead. It's for you. That's cool.
I think nowadays it's because the evidence of how it can be harmful is everywhere. That even kids in middle school can't deny that this could hurt me.
And are they getting that information, though?
I hope so. I think there's a lot of misinformation that goes around that the kids give to each other, like we talked about earlier. I think that we can tell them as much as we want, this is why it's harmful, this is why you shouldn't do it, this is what it can do. But until they see, an empty desk next to them in school that says, oh, really could be me, that's what's going to hit home.
Do you go to classrooms or anything like that and speak to these kids, or unfortunately is your pan so full at Powell you don't get a chance to go out there?
I try. Sometimes I wiggle my way into schools if they let me in and talk to kids.
If they let you in, why wouldn't they love you being there?
Well, we go to, there's just not very many schools right now that are in need of having services in the school. We do different groups sometimes. I did some groups in December at an alternative school. But they've got their own counselors and things like that that they have. So they wouldn't necessarily need me to talk to them about it.
Yeah, okay. But see, my response to that is, but you have experience. Do those counselors there have similar experience?
Well, I do teach at one of the alternative schools. I go once a week and have a group there. And the principal did call me to come and help educate the kids. But it's not a group. It was more for kids whose parents and family members are using.
Oh, okay.
But don't you believe that your personal experience gives you more credibility in their eyes?
Absolutely. I think so.
Yeah, because what counselor, I would imagine if a counselor stood up and said, yeah, I used to smoke dope, and some kid says, do you still do it every once in a while? And they say, well, every once in a while, but it's not good for me. They're done.
Right.
They're fired.
I don't think they'd ever say that.
I don't either.
Cover their butts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they would say that.
Yeah. Let's talk about a tough subject for a little bit. Suicide. It's happening more and more. Kids younger and younger. We just had 2 kids, in the last couple of weeks over at Urbandale Middle School. The reports are now that they didn't know each other and they weren't connected. And so now that makes it almost even worse. What do you hear from kids, which sounds like that they've just given up, that they're just hopeless? And then the second question would be, are we hearing the same thing from a 14-year-old that we are a 44-year-old? Is that just the state of chemical dependency and alcoholism?
Well, if we have a client who's feeling that hopeless and that helpless and things like that, they need a little more than outpatient substance abuse treatment.
Yeah.
And so I would go about getting them the help that they needed.
Is that Orchard Place maybe?
We've got there. It's all dependent on where they want to go, what kind of services they need.
Okay.
There are lots of different places.
All right. How about kids who come in and because someone they know chose the wrong decision about the length of their life, and now they're spiraled down into a terrible place? What do you say to them? What do you say to them? Hey, Johnny took his own life, and everybody made this video for him on Facebook, and everybody came out and did the candle light thing, and everybody was so sad in school, and we got a day off from school, and I don't know, if in my book, Johnny went out like a hero. What do you say to that? Because from the kid's standpoint, that's what it looks like nowadays.
I haven't had any kids come to me with that, and if they're in our treatment program, they're there for substance use, and if they're going to try and tell me it's all because one of my classmates, took his own life, then I would say that's not why you have been doing drugs.
Okay.
There's something else.
So you're kind of like the new version of the D. Hummels of the world. No BS when it comes to what those kids can lay on you.
I wanted to be just like Dee when I grew up.
Yeah. Well, are you becoming that?
Yes. I don't know.
Yes, she is.
Yes?
You can't get by her because she's been there, done it.
Okay.
It's really wonderful to watch her work with young kids.
So you not only have been trained in some exceptional skills, but is it fair for me to say, or I'll ask you because you're a humble young lady, but is it fair to say that her street cred is high?
Yes.
Because she knows, she's been there. She didn't learn it out of a book or from some classroom.
And she talks their language.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
See, I what's their language?
I don't know, but if they're listening to this, I would really like them to hear again that I have high street cred. Because most of the time, they think I'm full of it.
But you do have high street cred, don't you?
I tell them that, and they don't believe it.
Yeah.
They say, Annie, stop it.
And so how do you, in what ways do you demonstrate that, what do you say or do that they go, oh, yeah, she's got high street cred? What does that mean? I mean, you're honest, you're genuine, you don't let, fly balls get past you, and eventually, what does it take?
For them to trust me?
Yeah.
Unconditional acceptance.
Unconditional, okay.
Yeah, that is, if somebody walks into our office one time, my hope is that if they take nothing else away, they take away that they are unconditionally accepted. Whether you come to treatment here or not, whether you've got something going on, whether you're not ready to deal with it now, if you come and you ask for help, you open the door that's not going to shut. We are never going to shut it on you. Ever.
I come drunk.
Well, that happens sometimes.
Okay, but the door doesn't get shut.
No.
Okay, come high.
I mean, I'm going to call you out on it.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if more needs to be done, if you need to, go through detox, or if something else needs to be done, we're going to do it. I might tell you need to come back tomorrow or something like that, but we're never, we accept people for exactly who they are at that moment and what they've got going on.
You meet them where they're at.
Absolutely.
Annie Mauldin is my guest. She is the head therapist at Powell CDC's adolescent recovery program. Can't be too young, 18, 19, but they're not just discarded. They're put into other aftercare programs. We've talked about alcohol. We've talked a lot about marijuana. Let's talk about the other one. Let's talk about prescription drugs, what they get out of mom and dad's pharmaceutical cabinet. And how does that compare to the other stuff that they're into? We're coming back live. It's Restoring Hope Live here on The Truth, 99.3.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
All right, 10 before the top of the hour. We are so fortunate here on KTIA that once a week we get to spend an hour, just an hour, and talk about the tough stuff, the hurts, habits, and hang-ups in life. You know, so many times on Christian radio especially, we kind of sugarcoat over that. Oh, it's not my kids. Ah, it's not really happening. You know, the facade that we somehow feel that we can look better than we are. And then there are those of us like Annie and Lila and myself who have been through 12-step programs who unfortunately have bit the bullet. And we know the tough stuff that goes on out there. And it's our fault. You know, we put ourselves in those situations, maybe for 1 year, maybe for 20 years, maybe most of our lives. But one way or another, through the help of the good Lord and other good people, we've come to the reality that we can't drink. We can't use drugs. We can't do this. We can't do that. If you want to know an alcoholic's perfect explanation of why he's an alcoholic, he says, well, one drink is not enough and one drink is too many and 11's not enough. One drink's too many? Really? Come on. A normal person says, oh, I can have 2 or 3, and if I'm drinking water next to it, I'm fine. And they probably are. They're not wired that way. They're not genetically wired that way. They're not chemically wired that way. Some people don't believe that this is a disease. I'm a little uncomfortable with that word sometimes just because I see people push back. So why don't we, for a moment, talk about the fact that they're allergic? Are you allergic to anything? Chocolate, sugar, penicillin, peanuts? I'm allergic to alcohol. I get around it and I go crazy. And I can't stop drinking.
I really am allergic to, I had this allergy test done this year, and I really am allergic to everything that goes into hard liquor.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you don't know anybody who's alcoholic, you don't have your eyes open. You haven't looked hard enough, or they haven't revealed themselves to you because maybe they don't feel safe around you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be offensive, but we're all around you. All around you. And we need help. And the most important thing we need is what Annie talked about earlier, just unconditional love. Let us know that that's not the thing that's going to destroy the relationship that you and I have. What's going to destroy it? Lack of trust. I'd tell you no spiritual foundation. Now, Annie, you deal with kids, let's say 11, 12, 13, up to 18. I hear all the time that these prescription drug things are becoming a big issue. Is that a bigger deal than it used to be? I mean, I never dreamt of going through my parents' cabinet, you know?
I'm not sure of what it used to be like, but yeah, it's a big deal.
Because more moms are on antidepressants and dad are on anti-anxiety. And
I don't know if that's the reason why. I just think that kids are getting smarter.
They used to have parties. This was maybe 5 years ago. I haven't heard about it recently, but they'd have parties where everyone
farm parties
goes and gets whatever they can get, and then they throw it in a big bowl, and then you come and go to a party and just take whatever.
Farm parties.
Dangerous.
Pharmaceuticals.
Overdose parties. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Overdose parties.
Yeah, right. Were those around when you were playing?
No. If they were, nobody invited me.
Yeah. So what about a kid that comes in and says, there's nothing wrong with me, okay? It's my mom's pills. I take a couple. They're prescriptions, for God's sake. Quit freaking out.
I would just tell them, I'm not freaking out. You're the one in here. Here's the deal. What's really going on? What's the real problem right now? Why do you take them? The problem is that if you get caught with these, that's a felony.
Yeah.
So let's get that under control.
Because marijuana's not a felony. Alcohol's not a felony. But oh my heavens, using somebody else's prescription drugs, that's a felony.
You can get in trouble if you have your own prescriptions in your car without having the actual prescription with you.
Really?
Absolutely.
Now, are you talking about the label on the bottle or the slip from the pharmacist or the doctor?
I don't know.
I think it's for instance, I have Ritalin that I take because I have ADD. And I found this, and part of having ADD is I can't remember things. And so I have this bottle that has a counter on it. So and you buy that just online. So I would just pour my pills in there. And then I started thinking about if I got picked up, there's nothing on here that says that these are mine. So now I take that bottle to the pharmacist and have them put that sticker on that bottle.
Oh, good.
Every month.
Good. So, Annie, what's we're about ready to wrap up here, and I sure appreciate you coming in today. I know this is a passion of yours. What do we tell parents out there who, whether they want to say it out loud or not, they suspect something's going on? You know, the new kid in town that just moved in. Johnny seems so nice, but Tommy's just been different since Johnny's been in the neighborhood. You know, he's just not as respectable to me, and things that used to be a priority aren't, or big brother, divorce in the family, you name it. What do you say to those parents when they say, I think I need help?
If for any reason you're wondering if your kid has got an issue or got something going on, just get an eval. You can call us at just the front desk at Powell, and we can set you up with one.
An evaluation.
Yes, an evaluation or an assessment. And sometimes it takes an outside person for an adolescent to feel comfortable enough to say what's going on. Sometimes it's that, and sometimes it's not. Maybe, if you bring them in and they just, no, I don't do anything, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, then maybe your heart will feel more at peace. But either way, whatever it is that you need, we can try and help you or find somebody else who can.
I would tell parents to trust their instincts.
Every single time. Trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
That's a real thing.
You know your kid better than you think you do.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't want to believe it, so you kind of talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
But it's really pay attention to your instincts.
Yeah. 263-2424. That's the number you can call to reach Annie or Lila or D. Hummel or any of those folks down there that will tackle, and I use that term very loosely, tackle this problem when it comes to your kids, because there's nothing more important than your kids. If we can stop this at 13 or 14 or 15, and we're not dealing with it at 28, 29, and 30, or like me at 50, there's got to be some time that you just reach out and say, enough's enough. I'm your dad. I'm your mom. We're going to look into this. We're going to go get an evaluation. We're going to get this with Annie. I heard this on the radio. I feel comfortable. I know what to do now. Annie, thanks for being here. Lila, same to you. Tonight, you know what I'm going to ask? Somebody out there, you want to forgive. You just can't do it. Too painful. You don't know how. Just give it to Jesus. Just give it to him and say, I forgive as I'd like to be forgiven. See you tomorrow.
Restoring hope.